weeks ago, she was in my ring for all of her fights. She won a bronze medal, losing to Diana Dide of Kazakhstan in the semi-finals. She's a good fighter, RUZMETOVA, strong fighter, can punch. Quite a kind of robotic, mechanical look about her. She looks to get into range and land that 1-2, but it's a good, solid 1-2. And she's up against FARIZA Shoultay of Kazakhstan. RUZMETOVA got a bye into the final, so this is her first fight of the competition. We've been outlining the potential advantages and disadvantages therein. For Shoultay, she beat Sawiti of India by split 4-1 in the semi-finals. Has boxed at a couple of world championships before reaching the quarter-finals, a bronze at this competition 2 years ago. For RUZMETOVA, this is her first senior international tournament. She did win silver at the Uzbekistan national seniors. So she does have experience of boxing outside of the youth level, which is important when you make this kind of step up. She very nearly won that semi-final against Dide of Kazakhstan. She was coming on strong in the third and final round, did some damage in the final 25-30 seconds, but just couldn't quite do enough in the end. And what Shoultay cannot do, the Kazakhstan fighter in blue, is allow RUZMETOVA to settle into some kind of rhythm. As I said, she can be quite basic. She looks for that 1-2, but if she gets a range with it and starts landing it, then you've got a problem. So Shoultay in the blue, boxing for Kazakhstan. She's in the southpaw stance, and RUZMETOVA again there, just straight away looks to let that right hand go, but catches a left hand herself. Very lively start to this one. Both landing pretty heavy backhands. A right hand getting through from RUZMETOVA, that left hand from Shoultay, and I think RUZMETOVA felt that. Left hand there from RUZMETOVA finds Shoultay. She was kind of chasing her around the ring a bit there. There's that southpaw left again from Shoultay, and that's going to be a problem for RUZMETOVA if that's going to just snake through and find the target every time she throws it. Could well be the battle of the backhands, this one.
Heads coming a bit close together there, Andy, as well, when I think they're both so intent on landing that big left hand. There's a little bit of meaning about this through the first minute.
There's that left, just gets through from Shoultay once more there. RUZMETOVA's got to try and move her head off the punching line there, because that's not doing her any favours. A little bit of blood maybe just coming from the bottom of the nose there of RUZMETOVA, who again just pulls back in straight lines there, and the left hand gets through from Shoultay. RUZMETOVA looking for her right, didn't quite manage to land it, but as I said, she can crack, so Shoultay's got to be careful of that. Really, for the Kazakh fighter, you would say the key here is just to keep popping off that 1-2, because the left hand, most times she throws it, manages to find the target. It's a bit of a grueling one, this one, though, isn't it? Through 2 minutes, you know, there's been a lot of leather thrown here. Quite a lot of it's landed. Yeah,
that's exactly what I was just thinking, Andy. The work rate, the punch output, also the weight, the heaviness of the shots. They're really putting everything into it. Obviously, RUZMETOVA is looking for that big right hand. I think the left hand of Shoultay has been the eye-catching shot of the first round so far, and she's maybe landed that a little more accurately. And RUZMETOVA, who of course went out to a Kazakh boxer in Poland, didn't he? You'd have seen that in the semis. Lo and behold, she's got another one in the way for gold tonight.
She was at 75 kilos at the World Youths as well. She's at 81 here, and that's, well, I mean, that's basically another stone, isn't it? 2.2 pounds to a kilo. You're looking at a lot of extra weight there. She doesn't look like there's anything spare on her either, and that was Well, that was a very interesting opening round and a flavour of what we're going to get through rounds 2 and 3. Of the two, it was the fighter in blue, I would say, who did the more accurate work. But RUZMETOVA, as I mentioned, she's just going to keep coming forward, throwing that 1-2. She could do with moving ahead a bit more, particularly to get out of the way of that left hand. We're probably going to see one now, are we? There we go. That only just reached that one, though. It didn't cause any great damage.
You fancy, Andy, that something's got to give, and the question is, what's that going to be? Is it the work rate? Perhaps is the pace going to dip, and if it does, who does that suit? You'd maybe lean towards Sholtay and that left hand, but perhaps. But yeah, just wondering what's going to be the difference here. They went off at such a pace.
So into the second round, the light heavyweight final at the Asian Championships. Sokhiba RUZMETOVA of Uzbekistan is in the red. FARIZA Sholtay of Kazakhstan is in the blue. And they pick up at the start of the second exactly where they left off at the end of the first. They've been punching with intent from the beginning here, looking to set those feet, dig those toes in, and do some damage.
Really sharp body shots coming in there as well from Sholtay, who's sharp with the 1-2. Good work up close, little sneaky uppercut. That was quite clever. She's starting to pick her shots, isn't she? At the start of this round, this is a really good start to the round. I wondered, if the pace dropped, would that suit the boxer in blue? Maybe that's what's happening.
Good right hand there, though, from RUZMETOVA. Left hand straight down the middle, though, again from Sholtay. And as we said in the first, this has been an intense opening minute, a damaging first minute, and most of the damage is being done by Sholtay at the moment. RUZMETOVA has worn a few pretty solid blows in this first 80 seconds of the round. She's managed to give a couple back herself, so Sholtay has got to be careful. But the first half of the round here, this second, she has bossed it, the Kazakh fighter. Nice little uppercut on the inside there as well.
Oh, it's been a torrid minute and a half for the boxer in red. I think it's fair to say RUZMETOVA's taken a lot of leather here through the first couple of minutes. Since the accuracy, I said that maybe the pace would dip, not a bit of it. Sholtay's had her foot to the floor, and the accuracy with which he's landing these shots, particularly the left hand, the uppercuts, that's 3 of them so far in those close-up exchanges as well. She's doing a little bit of everything. And if anything, she's doing more of it through this round. Really impressive stuff.
RUZMETOVA has got a chin, that's for sure. She's not shown any kind of visible reaction to anything that's landed, even though a lot of it has been solid. If she had have done, then the referee would have jumped in with a standing count, because given the accuracy and the weight of punch that has landed at times from Sholtay up against other fighters, I'm sure you would have seen the referee get in there and give that 8 count. RUZMETOVA is hanging in there, even though this has been a difficult round for her, this second round so far.
I think you're right. If this carries, if Sholtay's still got plenty in the tank, then this could be a tough final round for RUZMETOVA, because she took a lot of shots there. Great credit to her that she got through that. That was relentless from Sholtay, from start to finish in that second round. She was landing punches at will, and she was landing just about every shot in the book. The left hand to head and body, the uppercut in close. We saw 3 of those when they were in the clinch. Great credit to RUZMETOVA that she was able to last out. How much of that is taken out of either of them would be the big question, and how much more can RUZMETOVA either take or give back in return?
You saw RUZMETOVA at the end of the round there, when the bell went, just put her right glove on the top rope just to steady herself, and was quite slow getting back to the corner. But as the replay show there, she is still capable of landing some heavy blows herself. So Sholtay has got to be aware of that She won't want to be too gung-ho in this final round, but then she wasn't in the second. It was measured stuff. It wasn't reckless in any way, and then just starts the round in good fashion there too, leading off with a right hand, goes downstairs with the left, straight left hand upstairs, and this is a really good start to the round here from Sholtai, and the referee does step in with the standing count, and you can completely understand why he has, because she cannot miss with that left hand, FARIZA SHOLTAY, whether she goes down to the body or whether she goes up to the head, swings it in from wide that time, and again just collects RUZMETOVA.
There was a huge left hand in there as well, and after the referee just stepped in, and I think he stepped in probably as much as anything because of what went on in the second round, because the pressure was just relentless, and it was a case of what happened in the second round carrying on right away into the third, and the referee called into question. Not for the first time over the course of the last 4 minutes, we're commenting on the toughness of RUZMETOVA, because it looked like she was in real trouble at the start of this round, and not only is she still there, but she's trying to fight back.
Jab there from Sholtai, landed, and her work rate has just dipped after that opening minute. Unsurprisingly, she's put plenty into that first minute. Came out quick. I think she's probably realised now that whatever she does, she's not going to get RUZMETOVA out of there, and she's got this fight under control, so she just doesn't really need to do anything crazy or reckless in this final portion of the fight. I think she'll know that she's well ahead here, because every time she throws that left hand, she lands it. The only way this can really go wrong is if she gets caught with something herself, which is a possibility against somebody like RUZMETOVA, because she can punch.
And amazing to remember that she's only 19 as well, RUZMETOVA. You know, in those youth championships, it is a case of youth versus experience. And, you know, 2 years ago, Sholtai was only just edged out in the semi by Pooja, who we've just seen that kind of back class. Maybe just backstage seen Pooja just minutes before, might have just rekindled the memory, it reminded her of the motivation, reminded her of her own back form. Anyway, either which way, she has put in a performance tonight, and the effort from both of them has been absolutely terrific, second to none.
Well, final few seconds, it has been a really good watch right from the beginning. Nice jab there from Sholtai. There goes the clapper, 10 seconds remaining, and this is going to be another gold medal for Kazakhstan, which would make it 7 out of 8 so far on the night, with the other two going to Uzbekistan and India. The bell goes at the end of that light heavyweight final. Good fight, really good fight between these two. You suspected it was going to be entertaining. RUZMETOVA really knows only one way, which is to come forward and keep throwing punches. It's a method she might have to refine a little bit. Not that it hasn't brought her success, because obviously it has, but in that final against FARIZA SHOLTAY, the Kazakh fighter, 6 years his senior as a 25-year-old, and with a wealth more senior international experience, just knew a bit too much for her.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner by unanimous decision in the blue corner representing Kazakhstan.
So Sholtai gets it by unanimous decision. And as I said, that makes it 7 out of 8 for Kazakhstan. A couple of 10-8 rounds in there for the bottom two judges, who scored at 30 points to 26. In AIBA boxing, judges can score 10-9, 10-8 or 10-7, purely down to how dominant they feel a fighter has been. If you score a standing count or a knockdown, that doesn't necessarily mean that you will win that round 10-8 or 10-7. If you score 2, that's not the consideration. It's the overall picture that you're looking to interpret. So you do see a good number of 10-8s. You don't see many 10-7s, but they're possible, although quite rare. It's a good scoring system.
Sholtai's a handful, Andy, isn't she? Absolute handful. She's got the technique, the work rate tonight. It was a case of coming out tonight, just saying to herself and her opponent, I am not going to be denied tonight. There is nothing you're going to do that I can or won't do or are not prepared to do. She was relentless, absolutely relentless. We thought that Volosenko probably had Boxer of the Night sewn up, but I think you'd have to say that